You're getting a bonus today. I got more to say. I don't know. I felt like that. I was cut a little short there before, and I just wanted to say a little bit more. I was thinking about spells, specifically spell work. I was thinking about how this shit all is together, and the trifecta: mind, body, spirit, and how I started. Kind of was just saying, kind of unofficially, yeah, magic exists, but what does that mean? Um, what do you do with it, or how do you work it? Um, I believe that all systems work. So, if you really want to get invested in this stuff, and you really want to start working with spirits and working with magic and working with all this stuff, you start by making an altar. Altar is a fancy word for workspace. It's a desk. It's a desk with some very specific items on it, but it's a desk. It's a workspace. It's the same thing as a bench in your garage. Um, and those specific things are tools to help you um, speak with ancestors, uh, connect with your shadow self, connect with your inner child, and these sort of things. That is where I would start in terms of magic. Start with an altar. Um, get yourself really any space that the cat's not going to knock shit over on, and you know, put some things on there that connect you to your ancestors, or connect you to your shadow self, or connect you to your inner child. Put all three. Doesn't matter. Water is always a good thing. A goblet of water, a bottle of water, a jar of water. Anything with water can go on your altar. Fire, uh, a candle of some sort when you're doing workings, when you're working in general, it's always good. Some sort of earth, a rock, a stone, uh, whatever for that perspective. And then some sort of incense. That would be air. So you have your four elements. And then you start talking to your ancestors. Give them things. If you're asking for advice, always give a tribute of some sort. Whether it's tobacco, whether it's liquor, whether it's food. Food is always best. Food is easy. You want to talk to your great-great-grandmother. She liked peanuts. Put peanuts on the altar. You know, these sort of things. Second thing, number one, build an altar. And you can ask people about that. You can ask me about that if you want. If you're worried about it, don't. I think mostly intent is the most important thing. And once you create an intentional space that you are doing magic on, that creates a kind of energy that will continue on. So, number one, build an altar. Number two, here's how a spell works. There are three components to a spell. There is a physical component, there's a mental component, and there's a spiritual component. Physical component is lighting a candle, it's making a circle, it's drawing the stuff, it's dressing in a specific way. Mental component, similar to the physical one, dressing in a specific way, that is very good. Getting yourself in kind of a spiritual headspace, kind of feeling a little dreamy, and understanding intellectually what you want to do. And then, and this is most important, belief that it will work. Intent and belief. I talk about it all the time. Both of those are psychological in nature. Spiritual aspect is runes, it's candles, it's oils, it's prayers, it's spell work. It's the stuff where you connect with spirit. You could say anything. A lot of cultures use psalms. Psalms is big old spell book. Other cultures use other things. You may have something you've written, a poem. That can work just as well. That's a spiritual component. It is connecting to spirit in a way that did not exist before. So you take these three things, and then you create a spell. You have your intent, what you want to do, attract love to you, attract wealth to you, work on yourself, uncross yourself, unblock yourself, cleanse yourself, cleanse your environment, cleanse your home. Whatever your intent, that's what you do into the spell. And then you create the components that correspond with those things. A circle for road opening. There is various pentacles and symbols that you can look up online. There are many of them. Go look them up. I don't want to go into too many specifics because I don't know what is what anymore in terms of where I heard what thing and what order and where. So I just want to be clear, all the information is out there. The internet is an amazing faculty for information. But you must take this shit with a grain of salt. The best way anybody learn magic is by starting with their ancestors. You may state to yourself, my ancestors didn't know shit. But the thing is, that's not necessarily true. Many of us have families where there were superstitions. You didn't. In my family, you didn't walk around with one shoe on and one shoe off. That was bad luck. That was a cultural norm in my house. It was a superstition, but it was a belief system, and that is magic. And for all intents and purposes, you're trying to control fate in some fashion. So these practices are back there. They're indigenous, Appalachian, they're Native American, they're Aboriginal, they're black, they're white. There's all kinds of different belief systems. If you're Icelandic, look the fuck up on that shit, because that shit is wild. If you're Pictish, if you're Irish, if you're English, if you're French, if you're Canadian, there's stuff for you to look up. Let's start with your ancestors. Your ancestors know things that you don't know, and they will lead you in the right direction. And that is the first step towards magic. And I guess that's what this is particularly about. And I didn't say this before in the last video, but it bears mentioning. Be good to each other. This is Vagabond Saint Tarot. I'm Bishop. Be good to each other. For real. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.